Please stay tuned as we go into all the chaos in a few minutes, and you'll learn the unsafe facts that are upending the early glow. Greetings from the channel again, everyone. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new here because we're sharing one of the most talked about scenes from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta today. Was Rasheeda just making a serious remark about Yandy and Mendeecees? What do you think, Saucy Santana? Have we all been waiting for the discovery that he has actually made? You won't want to miss today's video as we break down these dramatic events and give you the whole account of everything that happened. In addition to talking about the drama, we're exploring its causes, some genuine stories that could surprise you, and unexpected twists that you weren't expecting. The most recent episode of this show never stops, whether it was Rasheeda taking some jabs at Yandy and Mendeecees or Saucy Santana making the long-awaited breakthrough. Get your popcorn ready and get started with the latest LHATL drama. Let's begin with the main event, which is when Rasheeda's derogatory comments regarding Mendeecees and Yandy are discussed. The relationship between Rasheeda and Yandy has been complicated for a while, as everyone who watches Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is aware. By the time you finish watching this video, you will know exactly what happened between Rasheeda and Yandy, why Saucy Santana rose to fame, and what it means for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I assure you that you will want to stay for this one. To give you some background before we dive into the present, let's take a little glance back in time. Rasheeda is accustomed to scandal, whether it comes from marriage to Kirk Frost, family strife, or career disappointments. For the uninitiated, however, there has always been a tinge of tension around Yandy Smith. Although previous disputes and misunderstandings have demonstrated this, what truly happened in this episode? Was Rasheeda making a lighthearted remark, or was she actually throwing some pointed jabs? Although Yandy appears to be doing well, his imprisonment and the difficulties of his mixed family have caused a rocky relationship with Mendeecees. Due to her history of familial and marital difficulties, Rasheeda frequently seems to watch Yandy's problems from a distance, occasionally offering guidance and other times just watching. So, Rasheeda, what actually happened in this week's most recent show? Even though Rasheeda has been successful in maintaining her relationship, she seemed to imply that some people seem to thrive on playing the victim or fabricating drama to keep their stories going. Yandy, who has always been open about her marital struggles and the challenges she faced during Maine's incarceration, found this to be very moving. Many believe Rasheeda was addressing Yandy and Mendeecees directly during a group discussion. As soon as many admirers believe Rasheeda was doubting Yandy's sincerity, there was an online controversy. There was continual debate among viewers about whether Rasheeda was speaking the truth or acting in a passive-aggressive manner. However, things start to become intriguing since Yandy did not leave the remark unanswered. In her scathing response, she criticized Rasheeda for being too critical. This exchange is beloved by reality TV viewers because it displays true, unadulterated feelings and responses. It's a problem because instead of ending with the back and forth, the entire discussion created the stay tuned because the drama and consequences of this encounter are far from over. We have more to share in the upcoming section, but before we proceed to the next part of the story, take a moment to reflect. Which do you prefer, Rasheeda or Yandy? Please share your thoughts in a comment below if that is the case. There will be additional suspense later in the show, along with an unbelievable turn of events. Now we have to ask who is in the right here. How do you feel? Regardless of your position and whether you believe Rasheeda's criticism was justified or appropriate, let's move on to the season's rising star, Saucy Santana. Fans are still talking about this episode because it was a turning point in Saucy's journey, which has been difficult, as viewers of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta know. He's officially ready to face the world, and he's bringing his real self with him. Before the success, however, Saucy Santana's career as a rapper and performer wasn't always easy. Throughout Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Saucy Santana has battled with feeling ignored in the music industry, despite his growing social media following. He has faced both personal and professional issues, such as negotiating the constant obstacles of the entertainment industry and growing up in a difficult environment. Nevertheless, He has remained faithful to his originality and creativity while continuously showcasing his shamelessly bold, flamboyant appearance. Game, or did his social media celebrity status simply leave him with little sway? However, this episode brought about a transformation. Assume that Santana's career started with a string of incidents rather than a single event, such as working with well-known musicians and eventually receiving the recognition he deserved. The impact of Soy Santana grew significantly. It was his first time playing at a major event, and the stakes were extremely high. This was a major opportunity for the episode, an important opportunity for him to demonstrate that he was a true member of the profession and not just a social media celebrity. With the cameras rolling and the fans pumped, Saucy Santana had to perform. His incredible performance caught the attention of other musicians as well as his fans. He was obviously more than a one-hit wonder, as evidenced by his self-assured, vivacious, and theatrical manner. Throughout the entire program, his perseverance, diligence, and sincerity were validated by this performance. Let's suppose Santana's invention completely transforms the reality TV and entertainment areas. With Saucy Santana, you get precisely what you see because he is sincere and unrepentant. Often, it's difficult to distinguish between the real people behind the scenes and the characters we see on TV. His achievement serves as both a personal triumph and a message to the industry. You could see his face relax and be happy as he realized that all of the rejection and hardship had led him to this point. Evidence for the value of authenticity. In fact, Saucy Santana is paving the way for future generations of LGBTQ+ people who might be uncomfortable in the spotlight and demonstrating to the world that you can enter the entertainment industry on your own terms, not changing anything for anyone. But after such a huge success, the crucial question is whether he can keep up the momentum and demonstrate that he is more than just a reality TV star. Will he begin to take on more substantial actions? Please let us know before we move on to the next section whether you think Saucy Santana's breakout is a one-time event or if he is just getting started. What do you think of his performance? And where do you think his career is headed? Saucy Santana is definitely on the rise and isn't going to slow down anytime soon. We'll just have to watch and wait. Watch the celebrity's social media profiles because he is going to do big things. Everything was on the line as what began as a casual remark quickly turned into a heated argument. Rasheeda made an apparently innocent comment, to which Yandy promptly replied, "Never one to be silent, particularly when it comes to her family." Yandy Smith-Harris immediately got into the fray when Rasheeda implied that Yandy and Mendeecees were embellishing their struggles for the cameras. The tension between the two women was exacerbated by the fact that other actors were watching the exchange. But Yandy refused to back down and made it clear that the challenges she and Mendeecees faced were real ones that affected their family and their future, particularly while he was in prison. At this point, though, things start to get interesting since Rasheeda's response wasn't as apologetic as many had expected. Rather than retracting, she doubled down, implying that Yandy should prioritize her personal problems before attempting to counsel others on relationships. It was more than just a verbal exchange. Rather, it was a clash between Yandy's ferocious, passionate nature and Rasheeda's stern, no-nonsense manner. This was one of the show's pivotal moments, since Yandy's tale has always, in the eyes of many fans, involved some sort of public conflict. The question of who is being victimized here became increasingly urgent as supporters dug deeper. But in response, Yandy was just as critical, accusing Rasheeda of not understanding the tremendous difficulties involved in a public relationship. Was Rasheeda correct to doubt Yandy's genuineness, or was Yandy correct to defend the challenges she faces in real life because of Mendeecees, particularly during his court battles? This argument was about two women handling their own complex emotions while being constantly watched by the world. It was about more than just words. The dispute grew more intense from that point on, and the back and forth between the two sides only got more furious. Yandy didn't back down either. She followed Rasheeda when she stormed off at one point, obviously irritated by the argument. After that, things began to shift. As emotions ran high and fans realized how serious the situation was, The conversation heated up. Will the tension between Yandy and Rasheeda ever be resolved? Tension was rising to an unmanageable level as each woman thought that the other was insulting or misinterpreting them. Perhaps while emotions are high on reality TV and alliances can change quickly, this could be the start of a new rivalry or perhaps the end of a long-standing friendship. What are your predictions? Will they be able to rebuild their relationship, or is this the last straw? Please don't go too quickly and leave a comment below, as there is still more drama to sort out. After witnessing the argument between Rasheeda and Yandy, it's important to stand back and consider the wider picture. Will the dynamics of the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast be altered by this conflict? Or is it just another setback for the reality TV drama that we'll forget about by next week? Even though there has always been conflict in the relationships between the women on the show, this particular dispute has taken things to a whole new level. Yandy and Rasheeda are obviously at odds, and it's obvious that their rivalry won't be easily resolved. Shown she is not only playing the role of the calm woman behind the scenes, and that she is prepared to fight back, especially when it comes to protecting her family and reputation. But Rasheeda doesn't let people get away with being rude. Whether it's her ongoing arguments with Kirk or her rivalry with Yandy, her reputation as the show's bad girl is solidifying. And this confrontation only highlights how determined she is to stand her ground. Even if this dispute is in front of the cameras, it's crucial to keep in mind that reality TV is typically well edited. Thus, Rasheeda's comments may not reflect the complete story. This is how reality TV differs from actual life in a larger sense. Their competition may cause the characters to interact more strongly, creating new alliances and rivals. In fact, it could set the stage for future episodes where we see fierce conflicts, loyalty betrayals, and possibly even the emergence of unexpected alliances throughout the conflict. Both women make valid arguments regarding the conflict between Rasheeda and Yandy. Rasheeda's fear of being misunderstood and Yandy's frustration at being misunderstood. But everything is exaggerated on reality TV, and we must remember that these scenes are sometimes created to suit broader plots. There is a fine line, though, between what is authentic and what is being exaggerated for television. Since people want to play the victim, we need to consider whether she is being honest about her perspective, or part of what makes Love and Hip Hop Atlanta so captivating is that viewers are aware that the show balances contrived drama with genuine emotions. And this episode was a great illustration of how the show manages the implications for their personal lives. It's not only for the cameras. Rasheeda's and Yandy's personal lives can be affected for some time by this tension. A major plot point has always been Rasheeda's relationship with Kirk, and her recent candid remarks about other people raise questions about how her changing public persona might impact their union. Given that Mendeecees has had to deal with some public scandal, this heated altercation may cause problems in their relationship. Specifically, would Yandy stand by and let her marriage thrive, or would she feel compelled to defend it to Kirk and others? These unresolved issues may have an impact on their relationships in real life, which could add a degree of drama higher than what we see on TV. What really has everyone on edge is the question of how this conflict will end. Serious drama has been put in motion by the two women's altercation, and it is certain that things will only get more dramatic from this point on. The consequences of this altercation could change not just Rasheeda and Yandy, but the entire program's future. How do you think this competition will evolve? Is this going to be the end of the rivalry, or will it continue throughout the season? Please use the comments area below to share your predictions. This season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has everyone talking about the tension between Rasheeda and Yandy, but you won't want to miss what happens next. In this season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Saucy Santana is yet another important figure making waves. His breakout moment in this episode had fans talking about his ascent in the field. It is essential to comprehend Saucy Santana and the importance of this moment before diving into the specifics of his breakthrough. In a genre that is sometimes criticized for being exclusive, Saucy Santana's distinctive sound and ability to stay true to himself have earned him a devoted following. A well-known gay rapper and personality, Santana has made a name for himself in the industry for his songs and his unapologetic, fearless attitude. Being a pioneer in the hip-hop scene, he has shown that representation and diversity are achievable, especially for LGBTQ+ artists. On this specific LHATL episode, Saucy's breakthrough performance wasn't. Saucy Santana's performance at the start of the event shocked everyone. He had prepared for it for weeks, knowing that this might be his chance to showcase his growth and skill to a wider audience, and he did not disappoint. It was about his growth and his journey, not just music. Fans got to see a previously unexplored aspect of Saucy Santana, a shy and reflective side that showed how far he's come in his career. Many saw it as a pivotal moment in the episode and a turning point in his time on the show. The consequence of all the work he had done over the years, his somewhat average performance was adored by the audience. It was evident from the fire in his eyes and the intensity in his voice as he opened up that this was a personal moment for him rather than merely a musical performance. The performance was more than just music. It was a declaration of self-strength and self-assurance. Besides amusing the audience, Saucy Santana was amusing himself. Even more potent was the fact that this moment symbolized the success of numerous artists and dismantled boundaries in the hip-hop industry, which has long been criticized for its lack of diversity, particularly with respect to LGBTQ+ musicians. His ascent to fame is evidence that more people are paying attention and that things are gradually shifting. Listen as Saucy Santana continues to break stereotypes and myths in the music industry and demonstrate that you can be successful just being who you are. Fans are reacting well to his message and view him as an inspiration due to his skill as a musician and his bravery in sticking by himself. Saul's career has nevertheless been about developing personally and conquering challenges. We've watched him struggle in both his personal and professional lives, but he's now more prosperous and well-known than ever. His career may achieve even more success as a result of the performance in this episode, which opens a new chapter.